Hello, my name is Chris Caparel. It's 5 in the morning and I have something to say. I heard, alright, so you already know what this is. This is the first video of Philosopher King. That's my show, or web, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be on YouTube, I guess, but let's see. We got to talk about philosophers and presidents. The topic is, what makes a good president? And the answer is, philosophers. Now, what is a philosopher? A problem solver. Last time I checked, in order to solve the problems, you need a problem solver. What I should have started out saying was, you look at the last election, you've got, what's his name, Marco Rubio, and Ted Cruz, and one other guy, I can't remember his name. I was actually rooting for him, but I can't remember his name. All talking about, the question was, what do you think about philosophers or something like that? I can't find the clip right now because my internet's not working. It was 4 years ago, no, 1 year ago. Whatever. But the question was, what do you think about philosophers? And they were talking about economics or something like that. And then they use the phrase, for these philosopher kings and their fucking economics, they don't belong in the office. But technically, if we think about it, if the problem is the economy, then who better than an economist to solve the problem? The problem is the economy. You need a problem solver who works with the economy in order to solve the problem that works with the economy. So it was just common sense. I don't know what everybody's talking about, but it's common sense. Let's see. We also need to address the fact that something about, I think it was welders and philosophers. Welders make more than philosophers. Apparently, that's what one of the politicians said. I think it was Rubio, but I'm not. Probably not Rubio. I don't know. Anyway, but then somebody actually did some research. I saw it on Forbes. That something like it was $73,000 a year for a philosopher, and I want to guess $43,000 for $1,000 a year. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't know. But all I remember is that philosophers make more than welders. And so the politician was wrong. I mean, what is a politician good at? What is their job? Well, a lot of them are lawyers. So they're good with law, so they're good at writing the law. But all they know is how to write the law, not what the law should say. So we need lawyers. And then actually, Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know what he said about politicians? What we need in the future is not just people who are exclusively lawyers. We also need doctors, we need scientists, we need, all types of anything. A little bit of everything. But really what we need are people who are both lawyers and doctors and stuff like that. So, and we can talk about what's going on with the fucking I don't have much to say about that, but whatever. Anyway, what we're looking for is a philosopher. We're looking for problem solvers, and actually a great way to solve a problem. Here's a great example of a problem that could possibly be solved. It's got its kinks. I'm still working it out whether or not it's a good solution, but it is an idea. So, what I thought was that you heard of Bernie Sanders. Everybody's heard of Bernie Sanders. Just trying to keep everybody on the same page. He's a politician that ran for the Democratic Party. Hillary beat him, and then Trump won. So, but I believe I heard something about. See, I watch the Democrats. I watch the Republicans because I am a Democrat. I already know everything the Democrats have to say because I agree with it. That's why I don't watch them. They got nothing new to say. So I listen to the Republicans because either they're competition or they got some new ideas that I haven't heard of yet. But this idea it's controversial, and I've yet to ask somebody else their opinion, but there is precedence for it. So keep that in mind. It's very controversial, incredibly controversial. Well, it depends on where you stand. Morally, there's a little bit of practicality, but so anyway, what I heard was that Bernie Sanders said he was going to tax the 1% in order to send people to college. First of all, I've heard that trade schools are where to go, not college, but apparently Forbes did some research and they suggest that maybe it is college. It can get your foot in the door. Although I do know a guy who spent $64,000 on a criminal law degree and decided it was a better idea to drive a taxi. That's just people. So what politicians do, their strength is talking to people. So any politicians listening, that's your strength, talk to people, go out, do the research. Richard Beckard running for fucking motherfucking, what's it called? Some kind of state representative in Kentucky. I don't know if it's federal or fucking state. Whatever. Good luck. We went to college together. I wish you the best. But anyway, that's your job. Go out and talk to people and get a fucking consensus, or a census. It's like you're taking a census. What do you think I should do? What are your problems? What are your situations? Let me try to fix them. See if I can't come up with a solution that works for everyone. But you have to go out and sort of like take a poll, sort of get information. The point of the story is you have to go out and get information from people. You have to talk to the people. That's what's going to make you a good politician. I wish you the best. Moving on. Let's see what we got here. All right, we're 5 minutes in. I gotta pee, so pause. Is it? All right. Okay. Back. Okay. So politician. Let's see. What makes a good politician? That's the question. Oh, there's a great question. All right, let's start. Do you want my solution? I don't know what you want to do. My solution is a little too controversial. I'll save that for another day. Maybe I'll do it at the end. But it's like Bernie Sanders with a fucking reason, a fucking excuse to tax those rich 1%ers. You cannot get rid of the 1%ers, okay? You read Ayn Rand, okay? You know that, let me just fix this real quick. You cannot tax the 1% out of the country. Here's what happens. We have all the rich people, okay? What happens when we, one, make it shitty to stay here, and two, make it good to go somewhere else? They're going to leave. Then what happens? We're no longer the superpower because we're no longer a business giant. We've got all the money, well, I don't know about resources, but it means we can buy resources. We got all the money. That's what we're supposed to be, the richest nation. That's what I've heard. I question everything because that's how I get to wisdom. Yeah, certainty, wisdom, and it sounds paradoxical, but whatever. It's like you make sure, you double check, kind of thing. So it's like this. This is my understanding. We get all the money, we get all the resources, more or less. So like right now, we're a kid with a $100 bill, whereas there's all the other nations are kids with $10 bills. Okay, and we go out and buy 100 different candy bars. Okay, versus the other 10. More variety means they're going to come to us more. That means we, see what I'm saying? So, but what happens is if you get rid of the 1%, you get rid of the money, then you end up, now it's 50-50, and now you have real competition. So we need the 1%ers to stay. So how do we get them to stay while getting their money? That's controversial, and I haven't figured out the solution yet perfectly. I'm spitballing right now, but what I'm working with, and this is the controversial one, we give them special licenses. We give them things that money can't buy, and that's how you market it. Somebody's going to have to be... I'm not a smooth talker. I can't market shit. But somebody who knows how to smooth talk and sell something, sort of seduce them. Anyway, thinking about someone... Anyway, too much. Let's see. Is going to have to... Well, anyway, you have to seduce them. Money can't buy. But we give them licenses. And what I was thinking about is gambling licenses, so we can... This is what we're going to do. We already do licenses that are already in place. We outlaw all gambling and give licenses only to the 1%. That way they can make a whole lot of money, and we're going to split the profits. So we legalize gambling, but we give the licenses only to the 1%. You can do other things too if you want, but like whatever everyone else is comfortable with, I don't know, just, whatever, prostitution is fucking unsafe, people are morally against it, drugs are definitely unsafe. I had a couple of ideas, something like I was going to give them rights to, like, I have a list of 10, but I think gambling is a good idea, because, gambling addiction, I don't know anything about that. I've heard that it exists. I've heard that it's... So I've also heard that... Well, this is the real issue. I've also heard that video game addiction exists. Now, it's not recognized by, whoever fucking makes that. It's not FDA. It's whoever, the medical society or whatever. It's not recognized by them. So it's kind of up in the air whether or not gambling addiction is real. I would assume it's real, but I'm trying to double check. I've heard the phrase, obviously. And I would doubt it because I'm not an idiot. But, like... I just, I would assume gambling addiction is real. I haven't talked to see, that's what a politician has to do. You go out and find the gambling addict and find out, and then the psychologist has to come in. Why do you do this? Do you think casinos could be, placed around the world, or something like that? Sure, why not? We'll go global. But like, stuff like that. So that's one solution. But then you have an excuse. Now Bernie Sanders can tax this money, and that's what they were talking about doing with weed. Just legalize weed and then tax the shit out of it. Same with prostitution, but that's unsafe. You have to do STD checks. You have to make sure there's condoms. You have to make sure the prostitutes get, well, you could have male prostitutes too, but they're a little bit different. I wouldn't know. I'm not gay or anything like that, but support the gays, 100% gays. Technically, we'll do gay stuff later. You know what I mean? Politicians and religion. We'll do that in another video. But let's see what's going on here. We're at 10 minutes here. Is anybody going to watch more than 10 minutes? That's all right. What makes a good philosopher? If you want to get into debate, we're going to get into the age-old debate. Is character important for a president? I almost said philosopher. Same thing. Really, that's that's what I think. You tell me what you think. First of all, let's talk about something else. First of all, you have to. Who should be the president? Whoever is most qualified. What entails qualification? Is character necessary? So you could have, say the president's a hothead, okay, and say that's a character default. I mean, that's a character default. It's not moral character default, but it's a character default. The point of the story is, what if he gets us into some type of war like Trump almost did? And some people were criticizing fire and fury, like, so if you follow politics, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They made a big deal of it, and there might even be a book about it. But he should have responded in a different way. He should have sort of, I don't know, talked to the fucking Un. Fucking call up Kim Jong-un, or have your people get in touch with his people, however that works. Because he probably doesn't speak Korean. I don't know if he speaks English. But, talk it out. Diplomacy. You don't say with fire and fury unless he was making a threat. I mean, and even then, you don't push back. I don't know. That's just, I think it makes it look weak. And what's really true is that it just elevates the conflict. You say you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you first. That's just, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're just making it worse. You say there's no need to do that. We're going to work it out. We'll figure this out. Calm down. You don't say calm down to someone who's pissed off. But you do, I mean, he probably wasn't pissed at the time. Hopefully he wouldn't be, but whatever. Anyway, so is character necessary? So we have a character default suggesting that you need character. But then you might say, well, we can get into a debate about character, but we're at about 13 minutes, and, we're going to call it quits. Anyway, that's my lucky number, so we're going to call it quits. Okay, bye.